The film opens in the Edo period of Japan. A young blind woman walks alone along a dusty road carrying a shamisen on her back and a cane in her hand. Her name is Ichi, a goze, a blind female entertainer who busks from village to survive. While resting at a local's house, a perverted man approaches her and offers her food. His ill intentions escalate, and he attempts to rape her. Ichi refuses, and without hesitation, with a single slash from the sword hidden inside her cane, she severs 2 of the man's fingers. The man is terrified and flees. Ichi, being blind, whispers that she is not sure exactly what she cut. A flashback shows a scene when Ichi was a teenager and still part of her goze troupe. This marks the beginning of the film Ichi. Later, Ichi and her friend Mitsu, who is also a goze, are resting at a temple. Both have been expelled from the goze group because they were deemed tainted by lecherous men. Mitsu states that she is not interested in relationships with men, but honestly admits that someone's warmth on a cold night can be tempting. As a woman who can see appearances, it would certainly be different. But they have no choice, as the rule forbids goes from associating with the opposite sex. Violation leads to expulsion. One night, Mitsu is entertaining a man while Ichi waits outside. Afterward, the group of bandits who are friends with the man refuse to pay. They beat Mitsu, which prompts Ichi to move to help. One of the bandits then attempts to rape Ichi. They ridicule and examine her body, realizing Ichi is also a goze. Ichi pleads with them not to bother her. However, when one of them forces her and threatens her, she almost draws her sword. As the tension mounts, a wandering samurai named Toma Fujihira arrives and stops the bandits. Toma states that he just happened to be passing by and begs them to leave Ichi alone. The 3 bandits draw their swords. Meanwhile, Toma looks uneasy because he cannot draw his own sword. He tries to calm them with words and even offers a compromise. Toma shows them a promissory note worth 10 ryo, hoping it would be enough to appease them. The bandits laugh and mock him. They think that by killing Toma, they can get the 10 ryo and seize Ichi. The threat makes Toma even warier, but he still restrains himself, not wanting bloodshed. When the situation peaks and the bandits intend to attack, Toma again refuses direct violence. However, Ichi finally takes over. All 3 bandits are killed by Ichi, leaving Toma and Mitsu confused and terrified by the unexpected strength of the blind woman. Toma approaches Ichi and reintroduces himself as Toma Fujihira from Shimausa, a wanderer traveling the country in search of knowledge. He explains that after the incident where he tried to help Ichi, his promissory note was torn, and he lost everything he had. Now, to continue his journey, Toma needs to find work to earn money. With a confident tone, he describes himself as quite skilled and perhaps suited to work as a bodyguard or something similar. Ichi's response is cold. When Toma boasts about his abilities, Ichi offers a faint smile, a small reaction that makes Toma feel mocked. He accuses Ichi of laughing at him and feels insulted as a samurai. But Ichi ignores him and continues on her way, leaving Toma puzzled. Ichi's journey takes her to the town of Bito. There, a boy named Kotaro approaches her and offers to show her a comfortable inn. Instead of accepting the offer, Ichi asks for the location of the gambling house. Hesitantly, Kotaro explains that the place is on the outskirts of town and finally agrees to take her there. That night at the gambling house, the atmosphere is lively with the sound of dice and the shouts of gamblers. Ichi sits in a corner, quiet and inconspicuous. Meanwhile, Toma joins the game. However, his luck is bad. He keeps losing and has lost almost all his money. From the tattoos on the players' bodies, it is clear that his opponents are members of the Banquet gang, the thugs who dominate the area. When Toma becomes confused about his next bet, Ichi's soft voice is heard from a distance, suggesting a single word, chew, even. Toma follows the whisper and wins. In the next round, Ichi gives another signal, this time saying Han, odd, and the result is the same. Toma wins again. Round after round passes, and Toma continues to follow her direction until he manages to win a lot of money, attracting the attention of other gamblers. After several big wins, Ichi gets up and leaves the table without a word. Toma, realizing his good fortune came from Ichi, quickly takes his money and exits the place. Outside, he finds Ichi again. With a joyful tone, he says that he has earned 10 ryo, enough to repay his debt of gratitude to Ichi. However, the mood shifts when several Banquet gang members arrive and block their path. The bandits who lost big accuse Toma of cheating and demand the return of the betting money. Toma refuses and challenges them to take it by force. As swords are drawn, Toma tries to prepare. However, his hands tremble violently. He cannot draw his sword again. The bandits attack, and in an instant, Ichi moves. With quick, deadly precision, Ichi slashes them one by one until they are all dead, drenched in blood. Toma is left stunned, fixated on the extraordinary skill he just witnessed. Shortly after, a man arrives with several followers. He introduces himself as Toraji, the security guard of Bito town from the Shirakawa clan. Seeing the bodies lying around, he assumes Toma single-handedly killed the bandits. Impressed, Toraji offers Toma a job as a bodyguard for high pay, even raising the offer to 30 ryo. Toma, still bewildered, finally accepts the offer. Toraji praises his bravery and invites him to their headquarters. Meanwhile, Ichi slowly walks away without looking back, leaving them in silence. Kotaro attempts to call out to her. Ichi keeps walking, but Kotaro praises Ichi's kindness and is certain that the blind woman could easily defeat the Banquet gang. However, he asks doubtfully if Ichi is all right, considering she was the one who killed the bandits. With a simple tone, Kotaro offers Ichi a place to stay, but Ichi gently refuses, saying that spending the night at the temple is enough for her. Kotaro, not wanting to part, immediately offers to take Ichi to his house, which is nearby. However, Ichi just shakes her head and walks away. A few steps later, Kotaro remembers something. He mentions that his father knows a blind Ijaido master with features matching Satoichi, the master who taught Ichi the deadly sword technique, the very man Ichi has been looking for. Ichi pauses, then changes her mind and agrees to follow him. Arriving home, Kotaro calls his father Kihachi and introduces Ichi as a goze looking for someone. However, his drunken father accuses Kotaro of lying again and bringing random women into the house. In his frustration, the father glares at Ichi, calling her dirtier than himself. Ichi controls her anger, but when he continues to insult her, she strikes Kihachi, sending him sprawling. Kotaro, frightened, screams for Ichi not to kill his father. The night after, Kotaro falls. Asleep, Kihachi talks, with Ichi with a heavy, regretful voice. He says that essentially once some other Buddha cannot find one for him, had an informed share that in 3 days our now swordsman Name Kataoka Hashu will come into Bito to eliminate. The Banquet gang Kihachi also mentions that the welcome ceremony will include a kabuki performance and an appearance by a respected Iaido sensei. Meanwhile, at the Banquet gang headquarters, the members find the bodies of their comrades who died gruesomely. Aizo, the gang leader's right-hand man, suspects a Ronin did it. But the gang leader Banquet suspects something else, because the wounds on the victims look like very precise sword cuts, a technique he recognizes. Yet, he does not know who else could have done it. On the other side, Toma Fujihira arrives at the Shirakawa residence. He is warmly welcomed by Toraji, the clan leader's son, who introduces him to their clan members. They place great hope in him to defeat the Banquet gang who have caused chaos in Bito. Toraji boldly states that he will not stand idly by like his father. That night, he holds a large banquet. Kihachi then arrives, bringing a goze entertainer, who turns out to be Ichi. Toma is surprised to see Ichi's appearance now, clean and elegant, far from the shabby wanderer he once met. Toraji welcomes Ichi with a wide laugh, asking her to play a song to liven up the party. Ichi gently introduces herself and begins playing the shamisen while singing a melancholic song about a child who cannot sleep without his mother singing. However, Toraji stops her and asks for a more spirited tune. Ichi complies with the request and starts playing a faster, cheerful rhythm, bringing the banquet atmosphere back to life. After the performance, Toma approaches Ichi and reintroduces himself. Kotaro appears shortly after, apologizing for making Ichi wait. On the way home, he talks with Ichi about Toraji, who gave him a lot of money and praised her beautiful singing. Meanwhile, at the Banquet gang headquarters, Aizo summons a female entertainer. He instructs her to wear a blindfold because his master has unusual tastes. The woman is strictly forbidden from touching the man's face. In a cold tone, Izo warns her that if she disobeys, she will never be hired again. In a minor scene, a servant named Ohama approaches Toma and observes that he hasn't touched his food. Ohama asks him to eat a lot to become stronger. The entire town of Bito has been devastated since the arrival of the Banquet gang. When Chobi was healthy, the town was quite prosperous. But now many are weeping, worried that Bito will perish if things continue like this. Everyone places their hope in Toma to kill the Banquet gang and protect them. As Toma walks toward the toilet at the end of the hallway, he accidentally overhears a conversation between Toraji and his father, Chobi Shirakawa. Toraji asserts that he cannot let the suffering continue. Meanwhile, his father is worried that an attempted attack will only lead to futile bloodshed. Chobi believes that relying on the government or sending law enforcement is the best solution. However, Toraji is convinced that direct action must be tried. The preparations for Hasusama's arrival are complete, but Chobi doubts that a group of mercenaries will be able to fight the Banquet gang. He fears losing Toraji and wonders if all their efforts are enough. Toraji then spots Toma and introduces him to his father as a man who came a long way to help them. Chobi invites Toma for a more serious talk, explaining the origin of the Banquet gang. They were once a group of talented samurai who even served as trainers for the Bakufu sword style. But for some reason, their leader with the burnt face had to be deposed. Banquet transformed the group into a ruthless gang that arbitrarily decided the life and death of the people. Chobi is certain the gang has crossed the line and feels that their welcome ceremony might only become a joke to Banquet. By the calm lakeside, Kotaro gifts Ichi something from Chobi, then rushes off to retrieve a forgotten bucket. Toma suddenly appears and observes that Kotaro seems fond of Ichi. Their light conversation turns deeper when Toma asks if Ichi likes children. Ichi confesses to hating children because they are noisy and troublemakers. But she goes on to say that children are not dirty like many adults, making them easier to trust. Toma then reminisces about the song Ichi sang earlier, the one about a child who cannot sleep without his mother singing, and Ichi only agrees to tell him more about it later. When the conversation shifts to the possibility of a clash between the Shirakawa group and the Banquet gang, Toma declares himself a bodyguard for the Shirakawa group and refuses to run when his friends are in danger. Ichi warns that interfering without knowledge will cause problems. Toma admits that if he had Ichi's abilities, he believes he could save them. Ichi then explains why she is reluctant to get involved. People who cannot see do not know boundaries. They do not know day or night, do not know when their steps will end, and thus live in fear due to the inability to see who is evil or good. She feels that even things that seem obvious are hidden from her, which is why she chooses not to stay in the town any longer. Ichi moves to leave, but Toma stops her and offers a wooden stick to fight, challenging Ichi to a duel. Kotaro watches, trying to stop Toma, deeming the opponent not on Ichi's level. However, Toma and Ichi still spar. The winner of the fight is unclear. Afterward, at the Shirakawa headquarters, Toraji and the members check the preparations and hope that Hasusama's presence will intimidate the Banquet gang. Back to Ichi. Toma then tends to Ichi's bruised hand. He apologizes for the strong swing, and Ichi praises his strength. Toma explains that it was only with the stick. He cannot draw his katana. He then tells the story of his past. Born in the Odaka clan's sword art dojo, he was trained hard as a teenager until one day when his mother called him mid-training. He was so startled that his sword broke and the shards struck his mother's face, making her blind. His mother did not die immediately, but lost her sight. After that, Toma could never draw his katana. Even with a wooden sword, he would not lose. His father considered Toma's inability to draw the katana a family disgrace, then chose another student as his successor, leading Toma to wander to seek knowledge. He recounts how his mother was always kind to him and always hoped he would become a great samurai. When his mother died of illness when Toma was 15, all those hopes were broken. Ichi, hearing part of the story, decides to leave. Before truly departing, Ichi expresses something firm. This is who she is now, someone who has been through much and chosen her own path. The next day, a kabuki performance is held festively to welcome Hasusama's arrival. The guests, Shirakawa, Toraji, and Hasu's followers, appear to enjoy the performance. Among the performers, an Iaido-sensei performs gracefully. However, he turns out not to be Sato Ichi, the master Ichi has been searching for. Realizing this, Ichi decides to leave the venue. However, the peaceful atmosphere of the performance suddenly turns chaotic when the Banquet gang appears and attacks mercilessly. Toma immediately moves to protect Toraji and Hasusama, who are panicked and afraid. Although Toraji asks him to fight back, Toma cannot draw his sword and is eventually beaten until he passes out. The battle becomes more brutal until Shirakawa is killed, after shielding his son Toraji with his own body. Before dying, he instructs Toraji to protect the town of Bito. Meanwhile, Izo, one of Banquet's lieutenants, warns Hasu not to interfere in their affairs. After the attack is over, Izo grows suspicious of the ability of Toma, who was rumored to be a legendary swordsman. However, when Ichi appears and challenges them, she asks to be taken directly to the Banquet gang headquarters. But before that, Ichi proves her greatness by slaughtering all the gang members, leaving only Izo. After a fierce battle, Izo hands over the captured Ichi to Banquet. Izo reports that all his men have been slaughtered by the woman, and several curious people try to challenge her. In an instant, Ichi manages to kill him with just one quick slash. Other members who want to test her skill are also cut down by Ichi. Seeing this, Banquet himself steps in. The fight between Ichi and Banquet is fierce and brutal. Banquet manages to wound her, continuing to strike until Ichi is dying. Before Ichi loses consciousness, Banquet reveals that Sato Ichi, Ichi's master, had died of a contagious disease before their fight was finished. The news crushes Ichi's spirit, making her lose direction and hope. Meanwhile, on the side of the Shirakawa clan, Toma is attacked by angry clan members who consider him to have failed to protect them. Kotaro begs Toraji to stop the assault and testifies that Toma is a true samurai who is stronger than Ichi. Hearing this, Toraji orders Toma to settle their vengeance and eliminate the Banquet gang once and for all. On the other side, Ichi, now held captive by Banquet, hears words that shake her inner being. Banquet confesses that they were both betrayed and cast into the hole of life's darkness. Ichi then remembers her past, how she was raised by Satoichi as a child. She was given a small bell, trained in the art of the sword, and taught to play the shamisen alongside the goes. But her life was shattered when a man raped her, leading to her expulsion from the group. When the man returned and tried to rape her again, Ichi retaliated and killed him, which then caused her to live in regret. Just as Ichi is about to lose hope, Toma arrives and saves her from the Banquet gang's prison. He shoulders Ichi's helpless body and flees. Meanwhile, Kihachi helps them by burning oil to hold back the enemy's pursuit. As the flames blaze, Banquet shouts, asking who the person who dared to steal her is. Loudly, Toma answers with his name, Toma Fujihira. Banquet only stares furiously and swears that the blind woman belongs to him. However, Toma continues to take Ichi away. After waking from her unconsciousness, Toma immediately approaches Ichi, who is sitting in contemplation. With a faint voice, Ichi reveals that her master Satoichi has passed away. She explains that Satoichi was not her biological father, but the person who entrusted her to the Go's house when she was little. The master occasionally visited and taught her how to use a sword. However, her life was never peaceful. She was expelled from the Go's house after accidentally killing someone who harassed her. Ichi confesses to not understanding what happened at the time, unable to feel anything but emptiness. She feels that her life is no longer meaningful and that it would be better to die. But before that, she wanted to meet her master one last time to confirm whether Satoichi was indeed her father. Hearing the confession, Toma embraces Ichi and affirms that she does not need to die because he is there, always waiting. The next morning, while Ichi is still asleep, Toma quietly leaves her and joins the Shirakawa clan to help fight the Banquet gang. At the Shirakawa headquarters, Toraji tries to boost the soldiers' morale. They prepare to face the great battle that will determine the fate of the town. When the Banquet gang arrives, the battlefield descends into bloody chaos. Toraji leads the attack and manages to kill Izo as revenge for his father's death. But Toma is still plagued by old trauma and cannot draw his sword. He can only dodge while watching his friends fall one by one. Seeing many of his men perish, Banquet steps directly onto the battlefield and challenges Toma openly. As Toraji is about to step forward, Toma holds him back and steps forward to face his main enemy. In the fierce duel, Toma finally overcomes his fear and draws his sword after momentarily closing his eyes. He is determined to protect Ichi, his beloved, and will not surrender her to Banquet. Their fight is tough until both of them fall almost simultaneously. Ichi, who has just woken up, rushes to the battle site and finds Toma lying on the battlefield, dying. In her arms, Toma confirms that the Banquet gang has been wiped out before finally dying in Ichi's lap. However, not long after, Banquet, who is not entirely dead, rises again. Ichi stands looking at him calmly and says that now she can see the boundaries that she previously could not understand. With one swift slash, she ends Banquet's life, cutting his face. His remaining followers immediately flee the location. After Banquet's defeat, peace slowly returns to the town. Ichi is then seen playing the shamisen and singing softly in front of Toma's grave. The song reflects loneliness, longing, and the loss of the man she loved. After the song ends, Kotaro asks where Ichi will go. Ichi answers that she will go to the Odaka clan to place Toma's sword at his mother's grave. Before parting, she gives Kotaro the bell heirloom from her master Satoichi as a symbol of light to illuminate their respective journeys. When the boy asks if they will meet again, Ichi simply turns back, nods gently, and then continues her steps towards the horizon, toward a new journey that is quiet yet full of meaning. And with that, the film ends. So, what did you think of the movie? Leave it in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you in the next video.